Hello, BookTube. My name is Juan. I am just one reader, your favorite Mexican booktuber who reads in English and is also a certified psychoanalyst, weird singing person, and Potter fanatic. Anyway, I am here with a casual Friday Reads video just to tell you about the books that I am reading currently and also one that I finished pretty recently, and I will start with that one first. So a book that I completed a few weeks ago, I think, was The Scapegoat by Daphne du Maurier. Daphne du Maurier, the renowned author of many classics, beloved classics, such as Rebecca, My Cousin Rachel, The Birds, and so on and so forth. This book, The Scapegoat, 3 stars. I think that's completely fair. Basically, the book has a killer premise. It's about like a doppelganger situation. 2 men, identical men, like physically, uncannily identical, meet, like completely out of happenstance. They meet on the street and they realize that they are like incredibly, like to a T, identical to one another. They, for some weird reason, they swap lives, and that's a really great premise. The opening sequence of the book where that takes place is splendid. It's amazing. My problem was that the rest of the book sort of went downhill from there. Some chapters were amazing. Some chapters really left me with a weird feeling like this could be great if it were written differently, if it were written more precisely, more succinctly, more neatly, without all this ornamentation or detail. There was a lot of really minute detail, like a lot of minutia that, in my opinion, had it been trimmed down, it would have serviced the book greatly. So yeah, it's a great plot, really interesting concept, good characters. Du Maurier's writing can be really atmospheric, like always, but yeah, I'm just kind of lackluster on this one. So it's a 3-star book for me. I'm not sure I would recommend it, honestly. Then I decided, well, I'm gonna have some free time coming up. In the upcoming weeks, I will have a long weekend, so I will be able to read on a Monday, and also in 2 weeks' time, I have 2 weeks worth of vacation, so I will have the time of my life reading-wise. So I wanted to pick like really well the books that I'm starting to read right now. So the first book that I am reading, and this is really probably the most excited I have been with a book this year, and that is A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. I am so happy I picked this one up. I read Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy, the original First Law trilogy, last year. No, not last year, like a couple years ago. Yeah, it's been a while, and I really liked it. It was different, but it was really, really good. It had its ups and downs, but ultimately, I would give the entire First Law trilogy like a 4 stars. Yeah, like a solid 4 stars out of 5, yeah. And then I read all of his standalones. I don't even know the titles of the books. Best Served Cold. What else? Oh, I don't even remember the titles, honestly. And there was also a very unfortunate short story collection, which was terrible. And, well, everyone says that his biggest achievement to date is The Age of Madness, which starts with A Little Hatred. So here I am, and oh my god, I am loving this book. The problem is I am 100 pages into this book and we're only getting started. There's so much setup. There's a lot of characters, a lot of POVs, a lot of settings, different conflicts, different subplots. It's quite something. So it's taking its time, you know? There's a lot of information to understand and memorize, and you know, I'm getting there, but it's incredibly well written. You can see how much Abercrombie has grown as an author. I mean, from the first law to this, there's an incredible learning curve, not a curve, but like a spike in his craft, in the way that he writes. The dialogue, everything is so vibrant and witty and alive, and honestly, not a word is wasted. So I am loving this. And hopefully I will be able to read the entire trilogy within, I don't know, 2 months' time or something. Then I am also reading another fantasy book, but this is really different. The Crow, what is it? The Crow Folk. This is by Mark Stay, and this is the first book in a YA fantasy, like low fantasy, light fantasy series. It's kind of folksy, cozy, you know, English town, village, witches, World War II. So really liking it. It has incredible writing as well, very precise, very clean, astute writing style. I'm really liking it. I hope it's amazing, and I hope I find another YA series that is actually well written and that I can get lost into, even though I am not a young adult anymore by any means, but you know, it's a genre that can be enjoyable. And finally, I am reading an adult novel, which is All the Birds Singing by Evie Wyld. This is one of my favorite covers, just in general, period. I think I'm in love of this cover. So, All the Birds Sing by Evie Wyld. So far, this is really interesting and really promising. It's giving me kind of the Banshees of Inisherin vibes in a way, kind of. It's set in this Inisherin-esque place, this kind of very isolated English feeling. I don't know if it's actually in England. I think it is. But you know, it's that kind of setting, like a very coastal town, very moody, very gloomy and atmospheric. And there's this woman whose name is Jake, which that's really interesting that a woman could have a male name. And Jake is sort of there. She's clearly fled somewhere else. She's escaped. She's fled. She's running away from something or someone. I don't know. And she's taking care of these sheep, as you can see from the cover. But someone is killing the sheep. So it has this kind of dreadful, ominous vibe, like there's something lurking. It's so creepy and wonderful. And I think chapters go sort of back and forth in time, so we get to see like why Jake is there and what's happening and what she's running away from. So this is really promising. And those are all the books that I am reading right now. I am reading 3 books at the moment, so that's sort of interesting. I'm not a big fan of reading several books at once, but for some reason I just felt like it. And you know, these books are pretty distinguishable enough from one another to be able to rotate, back and forth and not feel like overwhelmed. So those are the books that I'm reading right now. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any thoughts on them. I would love to know. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video.